Good morning, wet shavers, coffee lovers, and podcast listeners everywhere. It's Mark with Georgetoon.com. It's time for another second cup. So grab a cup of coffee, kick back, relax, put in those earbuds, adjust that speaker volume, and let's talk some wet shaving and a few other things in podcast form. What is Second Cup? Well, Second Cup is a podcast that will give you some additional information that didn't make the Monday morning mailbag deadline. This might be something that is time sensitive. For instance, a sale that could be ending before the next Monday morning mailbag airs, or a piece of late breaking information the viewers have passed along that is equally time sensitive, or something else regarding the wet shaving world that needs to be broadcast in a timely fashion. And we'll also have some time to chit chat and discuss some other things like coffee, movies, streaming shows, books, that sort of thing. So thanks for tuning in to Second Cup. And I hope you subscribe to the podcast, where you can also find episodes of the Monday Morning Mailbag in podcast form. I hope you're enjoying a cup of coffee with me. We'll get the show underway in just a moment. Thanks for joining me. Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the May 5th, 2025 episode of Second Cup. Happy Cinco de Mayo Day and also Happy Cartoonists Day. We mentioned that on the Monday morning mailbag this morning. And to keep the celebration for Cartoonist Day going, we're enjoying Wawa coffee because Wawa is wow. This is terrific, smooth and mellow, our classic blend. This is the ground coffee. We got a 12-ounce bag here that was kindly and generously sent to the channel by viewer James Sefton. They have a new Wawa open in the greater Cincinnati area. They're mostly on the East Coast. This is a convenience store, fueling station kind of configuration that we're all very familiar with. And Wawa, very, very popular over there on the East Coast, and they're making their way west and now in Cincinnati. And to celebrate Cartoonist Day, we are enjoying this wonderful Snoopy and Woodstock coffee mug where Snoopy and Woodstock are sitting on top of Snoopy's doghouse enjoying a cup of, well, maybe hot chocolate, maybe coffee, who knows. This came from viewer David Lair. David, thank you again very, very much. Hang on 1 minute, let me get a sip. That's marvelous. What a great cup of coffee. Thanks again to Jim, and thanks again to David. Really, really do appreciate it. Well, how are you this morning? Great to be with you. You know, I promised you a story on the Monday morning mailbag, and I'm going to kick off this episode of Second Cup with that story. It's a very, very funny story. It's in regards to talking to my mom after a family gathering. Now, here's what happened. We were some years ago, we were at a family gathering, and my nephews and nieces were very young at the time. And my sister-in-law, Lori, being a new mom, she was kind of huddled up with my mom and my aunts and within earshot, and they were asking my sister-in-law, Lori, well, what's it like being a new mom? How are things going? Because I think my nephew, Tom, was probably 4 years old at the time, something like that, 3-4 years old, maybe 5. And Bryn was very young. My niece Bryn was very young at the time. And again, my mom and my aunts, who were all moms, they were asking Lori, well, what's it like to be a new mom? How are things going? That kind of thing. And my sister-in-law, Lori, said, you worry. You worry all the time. I look at Tommy and I think, okay, are his teeth coming in straight? Is he socializing correctly? Is he making friends? These kinds of things. And it just kind of caught my ear. So maybe a week or two later, I was visiting with my mom, and I related this story to her. I said, Mom, I couldn't help but overhear when you and the aunts were, Aunt Margie, Aunt Olga, et cetera, we're all talking to Lori about being a new mom. And Lori said, you worry about things with your kids. You have these little worries about them as they're growing up. And I asked my mother. Now you have to realize I was a very, very thin kid. I mean, when I was growing up, I was really, really thin. 98-pound weakling, that was me. I was very, very thin. And my mom would say, my gosh, Mark, you've got a hollow leg. Where are you putting away all this food? Yeah, I just had this metabolism that just burned everything off. And I was just a really thin kid. Okay, so back to the story. I had to give you that little bit of background. Back to the story. I'm asking my mom, I couldn't but overhear you and the aunts talking to Lori about being a new mom. And Lori said that she worried about her kids, these little things, these words, these little worries. And I asked my mom, what did you worry about me when I was growing up? And my mother looked at me and said, when is this kid going to get shoulders? I thought that was so funny. I've always remembered that story because, it just came right out of left field. My mom was wondering, when is this kid going to get when is this kid going to get shoulders? Oh man, I'll never forget that. That's because I was rail thin. Have to run around in the shower to get wet thin. Really, that's how thin I was. When is this kid going to get shoulders? I never forgot that. I thought that was so funny. So that's the story I wanted to relate to you. Whenever I hope you got a good laugh out of it, because whenever I share it with people, they all get a good chuckle from it. And especially I think moms out there can relate to it very well, because I think it is true. When you have kids, you tend to have these little worries about them and their development. So I just wanted to share that to you. Well, I just wanted to share that with you. Wow, I'm excited about the show this morning. So great to be with you. I hope you're enjoying a cup of coffee with me. I hope the weather is good where you're at, because at the time I'm recording this, it is overcast and cool and rainy and muddy. And it's just, if you saw the Kentucky Derby, that's the weather we have right now. It is cool and overcast and rainy and muddy. That's what they had at the Kentucky Derby. I hope your horse won, but my gosh, it was a mud festival there. And I was a little concerned for the horses running on that track, but I guess the trainers and the horse folks out there know better than I do. So I'm glad it was an exciting race and came to a really, really nice conclusion. But that's the kind of weather we have at the time I'm recording this. I hope that when you hear this, it's a beautiful, sunny, clear, warm day where you're at. I hope the weather is quite agreeable. So great to be with you this morning. I hope you're enjoying a cup of coffee with me. We'll pay a few bills and then we'll get the show underway in just a moment. Well, this morning we have a lot of updates from Phoenix Shaving for you. We're going to kick things off with Garden of Bali, B-A-L-I. Some say Bali, some say Bali. I say Bali. Tomato. But bottom line is Garden of Bali is back. Another seasonal Phoenix Shaving Classic returns. This is a must-have for the Shave Den. Here's the scent profile. Check this out. Flighty top notes of lime, lemon, grapefruit, orange blossom, and sea salt. Middle notes of ambergris, seaweed, and ozone. Base notes of amber, moss, benzoin, cedar, and bamboo. Refreshing, clean and classic, a Phoenix Shaving original. And they have the entire collection across the board of Garden of Bali. And as they write here, within the first week of discontinuing this Phoenix Shaving Classic, the hate mail began. It was clear a small following around Bali had begun. Fran and I would jokingly refer to the write-in campaign as Mrs. of the Cult of Bali. The thing is, the demand and enthusiasm for Garden of Bali never really died out, truth told. The only reason we ever discontinued it was to make room for some new scents. Such a great summer scent. They continue here. It is always a great pleasure to return to an old scent and add something new or remove something that never really worked. though not realized at the time. It's only natural that we have grown as artisans and gotten better at our craft, and that is essentially what these reboots are all about, a second chance to really get it right. After all, we owe it to our original blends from yesteryear, considering they got us where we are now. If you were a fan of Garden of Bali before the last recent release, you are going to really love our latest rendition and treatment of the second. Do not be led astray by all the citrus notes at the top of the fragrance, though it is a refreshing immediate burst. The shape completely begins to twist and turn in on itself. Somewhere between the ocean and the natural bamboo wall of the orange blossoming jungle, your nose is beachcombing. Barefoot and sitting through driftwood, seaweed, cedar, citrus, and sand. This is a warm, exotic, and curious summer scent, but you'll wear it all year. I know you will. My gosh, this sounds marvelous. So check it out. We'll have links below. From Phoenix Shaving, it's back. It's refreshing. It's perfect for the summer and year-round. Garden of Bali will have links below. Now, we've talked about these secret mashups, these Easter eggs that Phoenix Shaving has on their website. Well, here's one that was just released. Tombstone Immaculate, shave soap, aftershave. This is a secret mashup, an Easter egg that you can find. We'll have a link to it. This is a mashup of Tombstone and Dapper Docs, CK Artisan shave soaps and aftershave splashes. How about that? Now, Dapper Doc, we've reviewed on the channel. It's marvelous. I got it right here. This is marvelous. This is in honor of Doc Holliday. This is Lilac and Fig, a classy scent reminiscent of Victorian times and something our outlaw hero Doc Holliday might have bought off the back of a stagecoach that just arrived from back east. Now, Tombstone is one we have not reviewed, but this is the original Wild West blend made in Arizona, USA. Here's the scent profile: gunpowder, leather, tobacco, geranium, bergamot, and white rose. And those are combined to make this secret mashup, Tombstone Immaculate, a tribute to actor Val Kilmer. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Val Kilmer gave us an unforgettable Doc Holliday, sickly, sharp, soulful, and a transcendent Jim Morrison, glowing with dangerous beauty and poetic madness. Tombstone Immaculate is our heartfelt tribute to both sides of this remarkable artist, the velvet smooth outlaw and the Lizard King in leather pants. This special CK6 mashup blends two of our most beloved scents, Tombstone and Dapper Docs, into something entirely new, a ghostly, intoxicating aroma that feels like standing on a dusty street in 1890s Arizona with a flower tucked in your lapel and poetry on your breath. Here's this. That's a great description. Here's the scent profile for Tombstone Immaculate: gunpowder, the echo of a final shot; leather and tobacco, worn, warm, confident; geranium and bergamot, clean and classic like a well-dressed gunslinger; Lady Banksia white rose, sourced from Tombstone's legendary 1885 rosebush, the scent of eternal spring and desert ghosts; lilac and fig, a Victorian whisper, soft and bittersweet, carried in from the east; musk and desert memory, a finish that lingers long after the smoke clears. And here's what they have to say about Val Kilmer: the kind of actor you felt like you knew. Val Kilmer was more than an actor, he was a shapeshifter. He could be the sarcastic sidekick, the doomed rock star, the quiet storm, or the reluctant hero. I think Tombstone Immaculate captures all of that: masculine, mysterious, elegant, dangerous, unforgettable. In loving memory of Val Kilmer, for Tombstone, The Doors, Willow, Top Gun, The Island of Dr. Moreau, Heat, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, and every scene he elevated with soul and swagger. You left a mark, sir, And we here at PAA salute you with rosewater, gun smoke, and a little swagger of our own. Limited run, possibly, so check it out. This is a secret mashup, a tribute to Val Kilmer. Tombstone Immaculate. Will have a link below. It sounds marvelous just based on Dapper Docs that I have right here. That's a marvelous scent. And all the other notes from Tombstone sounds amazing. Just sounds amazing. I'm sure it's going to be fantastic. Tombstone Immaculate from Phoenix Shaving, a tribute to the actor Val Kilmer, will have links below. Now, in a previous broadcast, viewers brought to our attention that Phoenix Shaving now has Planet Phoenix Shave Soap and Aftershave Splash, and they were wondering if I had ever tried it. Yes, I have it. I absolutely have it because I bought the Phoenix Shaving Travel Scuttle, and that came with, there it is right there, Planet Phoenix. Yeah, and as they write here, Planet Phoenix is in our orbit. The once elusive legend is finally yours in full size. Here's the scent profile. Sweet honeyed notes of neroli layered with bergamot, mandarin, frangipani, labdanum, and oud. Yes, we can already hear some of you freaking out, and you're right, too. Oh, and yes, there's a complete collection available. For years, Planet Phoenix was the ultimate hidden treasure, a secret scent included only with our legendary indestructible travel scuttle. And here I have it right here. And again, I've got this really nice a nice size sample of Planet Phoenix right here. And I think in our original review, I'll have to look, we used Planet Phoenix for that shave in demonstrating the travel scuttle. Oh, and this is a marvelous scent. It's really, really wonderful. They continue here, a whisper, a rumor, a scent so rare, it practically required a secret handshake to get your hands on. Demand? Insane. We watched it unfold like a drama in the forums. Shaver 1, I'll trade you a toggle for one travel-sized Planet Phoenix. Shaver 2, deal. Private messages, DMs, emails that bordered on hostage negotiations. One diehard even swore to never shop with us again if we didn't release it full size. What is Planet Phoenix, Douglas? Like our classics Meta Nectar and ESP, Planet Phoenix is crafted as a true attar, one of the oldest forms of perfume on Earth. But make no mistake, Planet Phoenix is less floral garden and more cosmic frontier. That's true. That really is true. It's such a bright scent, but it's not overly floral. Absolutely. It's dark, moody, musky, and woody. A bold, sensual scent designed for those interested in a good sci-fi mystery. Yeah, and they say here, a Planet Phoenix rises. We heard you, we listened, and for another fleeting moment in time, we're unleashing Planet Phoenix as a full-size collection once more. Hop to it if you want to be one of the first 50. Don't sleep on this. Planet Phoenix isn't just a scent, it's a movement. You asked, you demanded, and we made it happen. This one's for the true fans of the scent. Now it's your move. Grab Planet Phoenix before it disappears into myth once more. We will have links below to it. Planet Phoenix. I've got the sample here that came with a generous size sample, really, that came with the travel scuttle. I always have it with the travel scuttle. So whenever I'm out and about for a weekend getaway, something like that, I make sure to take the travel scuttle and Planet Phoenix. It's a marvelous, marvelous scent. Great for year round. It's going to be perfect for spring and summer, no doubt about it. But it is very, very good year round. So check it out. Planet Phoenix, for a limited time, will have links below. Well, here's another offering from Phoenix Shaving, and as they write, a Phoenix Lost Classic. Smell what the buzz is about. This is Oubliette. Yeah, a Phoenix Lost classic. And here's what they have to say about it here. You asked, you waited, you begged, and rightly so, and now it's back. Oubliette isn't just a scent, it's part of the ongoing PAA saga, a legend whispered and whipped up within lather and recalled in reverent tones by shave cadets in the know. Originally released back in 2018 as a special limited edition soap and aftershave cologne, but note, this was never meant to be just a fragrance. It was a movement, a true collaborative creation by the, now I don't know what this is, I'm going to read it to you, OG HTGAM G Plus community there. I don't know who that is, to be perfectly honest with you, but I guess I'm not a shave cadet in the know when it comes to Oubliette. So if anyone out there knows what OG HTGAM G Plus is, please clue me in the comments below. I sure would like to know. And as Douglas continues here, this was one of the kindest, weirdest, and most passionate corners of the shave world, possibly the grandpappy of the PAA fan club on Facebook. And now, after years of quiet yearning, cryptic comments, and post-Advent calendar murmurings, Oubliette returns, fully loaded and ready to claim its throne in the PAA pantheon with a full collection. Now, here's how it started. There was a legendary pass-around that occurred, I guess, from what I'm looking at here, that created this shave soap and scent. This scent was crowd-forged by the finest in what may be the most epic scent testing experiment in artisan shaving history. We shipped 6 different blends across the country in a coast-to-coast super pass-around. East met West, lather met razor, opinions flew, magic happened, and we may have lost a tub or two. But no, this was a group effort by the then budding PAA community. The winning blend was a hauntingly smooth, almost hypnotic combo of rich tobacco, resinous Brio Bronco, earthy bay, and a twist of jasmine. On paper, it reads simple. On warm skin, it unfolds like a forgotten secret. Bold and musky, yes, but elegant and ethereal in equal measure. A scent that speaks with its chest, then lingers in a low whisper behind the ear. Oh, wow. Yeah, that captures it because I did review this from this past year's Phoenix Advent Calendar. Oh, yeah, and it's fantastic. Now, why is it called Oubliette? As Douglas writes here, what's in the name? Oubliette, a dungeon only accessible from a trapdoor above, derived from the French oublier, to forget. Quite a beautiful word for such a sinister thing. Fitting, no? In a good way. This scent, like the hidden room it's named after, pulls you in with irresistible depth and holds you there, captive. It doesn't hit you over the head. It wraps around you slowly, unfurling its dark charms over time. One way in, no easy way out. Again, in a good way. When we slipped a sample size of Oubliette into last year's Advent calendar, we thought it would be a fun little treat. What we didn't expect? An avalanche of messages, DMs, comments, and pleas from noobs that had only now, then, gotten their noses on it. Apparently, a little Oubliette is never enough. Noted. A reward for your patience, shave cadets. So yes, this time around, it's not just a teaser. This is the real deal. A first time ever full release, available in shave soap, aftershave, star jelly, EDP, etc. The whole enchilada, even a cube. Oubliette is a scent for those who remember the early days or, at the very least, wish they were there. For the original G Plus gang, for the shave nerds, the lore lovers, the ones who get it. And if this is... Final thoughts from the Dungeon Master. That would be Douglas. Oubliette is a scent for those who remember the early days or, at the very least, wish they were there. For the original G Plus gang, for the shave nerds, the lore lovers, the ones who get it. And if this is your first time, welcome. You're among friends. Now, find the others. Oubliette, bold, masculine, timeless. So there you go. We're going to have links to Oubliette below. It is a marvelous scent. We reviewed it on the Advent calendar. If you want a quick review of it, check out the Advent calendar reviews from last year. I can't remember what day this is. Well, let me just check real quickly. Yeah, I just checked. It's day 3 of the 12 Shaves of Christmas for 2024. We'll link it below if you want to search for it yourself. It's Mark Zarady, 12 Shaves of Christmas 2024, day 3. Those search terms should bring it right up. But again, we'll link it below. So Oubliette, really, really wonderful, wonderful scent that we reviewed. It's available now, full size. And across the board, everything is available. You know, the shave soap, the splash, the EDP, etc., and the cube. A really, really wonderful, wonderful scent. Again, we'll have links below from Phoenix Shaving, Oubliette. Well, oh man, before we go any further, I got to get another sip here. I just got a nice refill warm up. Hang on 1 minute. That's great. Wawa coffee in the Snoopy Woodstock coffee mug, thanks to Jim Sefton and David Lair. Really do appreciate it. Happy Cartoonist Day. Happy Cinco de Mayo. Well, let's continue here. If you've been looking for the Phoenix Shaving Copper Ascension double open comb twist adjustable razor for your shave den, well, now's the time. They're back in stock. I just received an email alert from Phoenix Shaving. And here's what they write here. Rose gold plated copper ascension. Heads up, shave cadets. This one sells out fast. The copper ascension is back in stock and hotter than ever. Literally. More on that in a second. If you've been waiting to pounce, now's the moment. Fun fact, Gillette's working on a warming razor, but let's be real, nothing holds heat like solid copper. Just hold your ascension under hot water for 30 seconds and blammo, you've got yourself a steaming blade of destiny. That's a real thing. Designed for the thinking shaver, not just sleek and heavy, heavier than our stainless. This baby is a twist adjustable, meaning you control the aggression and angle. No dials, no drama, just intuitive tuning. The design leverages blade tension for seamless on-the-fly adjustments. Featuring our iconic double open comb design, longer caps to cover blade tabs, and grippy divots to keep your twist steady, even with soapy hands. Also, it's polished tellurium copper with rose gold electroplate, fully CNC machined, built to outlast you. Future generations will fight over this one. That is very, very true. I'm holding mine right here. I love this razor, and I especially love the double open comb with twist adjustability. The blade holds tension within the razor head, which allows you to twist the handle and open up that blade gap, and everything stays rock solid within the razor head. It's a remarkable design. I love this razor. I absolutely love this razor. I'm going to shave with it later on. It's fantastic. I really, really love it. And the rose gold is beautiful. If you've always wanted one, they're in stock right now. $115 as I recall, but you gotta get it now because they sell out very, very quickly. And hopefully by the time this airs, they will still be in stock. That's what I'm hoping. So put down that coffee mug. Put down that coffee mug. Stop the celebrations today and get over to Phoenix Shaving and get one of these. They are absolutely wonderful. The rose gold plated copper ascension double open comb twist adjustable safety razor from Phoenix Shaving. I love mine. It's fantastic. I highly recommend it. We'll have links below. Well, I guess you could say that late April and early May starts the summer reading season. Maybe you're considering a book or two to read this summer. And I've already begun mine. I have been reading it on and off, and I decided to pick it up again and continue reading this for the summer season. It's a long one. It's over 600 pages, but it is really a terrific, terrific book so far. I am on, let me get my bookmark here. I am on chapter 12. That is page 197. The name of the book is Titan, The Life of John D. Rockefeller Sr. by Ron Chernow. Now, why am I reading this book? Well, because I was born and raised in the greater Cleveland area, and John D. Rockefeller Sr. built the city of Cleveland. This is where the oil industry started, believe it or not. It started in Cleveland, Ohio, and John D. Rockefeller was a big part of that oil production, oil refining, shipping all over the world, oil products. He built Cleveland. And as the inner lining of the book reads here, John D. Rockefeller Sr., history's first billionaire and the patriarch of America's most famous dynasty, is an icon whose true nature has eluded 3 generations of historians. Now, Ron Chernow, the National Book Award-winning biographer of the Morgan and Warburg banking families, gives us a history of the mogul etched with uncommon objectivity and literary grace, as detailed, balanced, and psychologically insightful a portrait of the tycoon as we may ever have. Wow, yeah. This really is a very, very well-written book. It gives you the history from John D. Rockefeller's birth, I'm assuming all the way up to his death and everything in between. It really is amazing the amount of wealth he had in his early 30s, 35, through the 1870s. It's amazing, too, to look at the perspective of when he emerged in relation to the end of the Civil War. The end of the Civil War was, 1865? And in 10 years, he had this vast oil empire already, and it was continually growing. There's one anecdote here with someone in his company who, for whatever reason, the gentleman was unhappy. And he just was unhappy with his circumstances. And the author was explaining how Rockefeller was a very, very even-tempered, measured individual. And this business associate who was with the Standard Oil Company, he came into Rockefeller's office and he was complaining, and he wanted to be bought out. And Rockefeller said, well, okay, I'll tell you what, let me have first option on the stock you want to sell, and I'll let you go your separate way, but give me 24 hours. How much do you want? And this gentleman said, I want $1 million. And Rockefeller said, okay, come back to my office tomorrow morning, 9 a.m., 10 a.m., whenever it was, and I'll let you know my answer. So the next day, this gentleman walks into John D. Rockefeller's office, and Rockefeller has a check for $1 million. Now, this was like the 1870s, and he had $1 million right there in a check for this guy, and handed it to him, and that was it. Rockefeller secured the stock. Now, the reason why he wanted the stock is because he didn't want this gentleman selling Standard Oil stock on the open market, where maybe somebody who wasn't, friendly with the Standard Oil Company could come in and wreak havoc. So what John D. Rockefeller did was, as soon as he got the stock, he turned it around and sold it to Vanderbilt's son. The railroad tycoon. The son bought that for $1,300,000. So Rockefeller made a $300,000 profit on that stock, but he also had somebody who was cooperative with his company in Vanderbilt's son, because Vanderbilt's son was, at that time, a fan, so to speak, of John D. Rockefeller, according to the book. And Vanderbilt said, boy, that guy's going to be the richest man in the world, because he saw what was going on with the oil industry. Anyhow, here's the whole windup. And I'll read from the book here. The gentleman's name was Sam Andrews. Here's what it says. At first, Andrews exulted over the sale and was convinced that he had unloaded the stock at a premium. Then Rockefeller turned around and sold the same shares to William H. Vanderbilt for a quick $300,000 profit. When Andrews loudly cried foul, Rockefeller sent an emissary to tell Andrews that he could buy back his stock at the original sale price. Embittered, Andrews spurned this fair offer and opted to keep the money. Had he kept the stock, it would have been worth $900 million by the early 1930s, by one estimate. This rash decision, motivated by pure pique and a bruised ego, kept him from becoming one of America's richest men. How about that? My gosh, that's at the end of chapter 10, and I'm looking forward to other stories like that throughout the book because it was just a vast, vast empire that Rockefeller built, and an amazing, amazing creation of a company that fueled the Industrial Revolution here in America. Again, give it a look. Titan, The Life of John D. Rockefeller Sr., a gentleman who was responsible for building much of Cleveland, Ohio, and this is where the oil industry started. How about that? So that's why I'm so intrigued and interested in reading this book, because there is this connection between Cleveland and John D. Rockefeller Sr. As a matter of fact, Rockefeller is buried at Lakeview Cemetery in Cleveland, Ohio, and his grave has the tallest obelisk in Cleveland, Ohio, and you can visit it, and people leave dimes on his tombstone, and I have done that as well. Yeah, you do it for good luck, because at one point in Rockefeller's life, he was handing out silver dimes to people, and we'll get into that explanation and why he did it sometime in the book down the road. But a really, really neat connection between Rockefeller and the city of Cleveland, where the oil industry started. Pretty amazing history. So check it out. Titan, The Life of John D. Rockefeller Sr. by Ron Chernow. We'll have a link below where you can check it out on Amazon. You probably can borrow it from your local library. You could probably find it at used book sales. But we'll get a link to it on Amazon so you can read a little bit more about the book and check out ratings and that sort of thing. So far, I am absolutely loving this book. Again, I'm a little bit biased because I was raised in the Cleveland area, so I'm aware of this connection between Cleveland and John D. Rockefeller Sr. But I think anyone who is interested in this gentleman will be enthralled by what he created throughout his life. Once more, Titan, The Life of John D. Rockefeller Sr. by Ron Chernow. Will have a link below. And that wraps up another Second Cup. Thanks so much for tuning in again. I really do appreciate it. I sure hope you enjoyed today's show. If you did, please share, please subscribe, and pass it along to a fellow wet shaver or friend. My thanks to everyone who commented and contributed to today's show, and I mean this sincerely. Without you, this microphone would be silent. If Second Cup or the Monday Morning Mailbag aren't showing up in your regular podcast feed, please drop me a line at mondaymailbag@gmail.com, and we'll try to get it all sorted out. So again, thank you all very much. I look forward to getting together with you again on these podcast airwaves. Until then, enjoy your day, enjoy your shave, and enjoy that Second Cup.